Kellie Meyer. Kellie, thanks for hopping up here real quick. I mean, we all just heard the question that you asked specifically as well about their commitment to eventually releasing that full report from the Defense Intelligence Agency. Were you satisfied with the answer that you got, and what were your big takeaways?
Well, I did appreciate the Secretary of Defense answering that question, as well as the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Air Force General Kane, also jumped in there and answered, saying that they are committed to transparency here, that this is something that they are trying to figure out in the midst of all of this, that there is some classified information, but they do want to make sure that the American public knows the intelligence or that this mission was completed and was able to destroy what was inside this facility. They took the time in this briefing today to walk us through in a very detailed way how they were able to carry out this mission, talking about those pilot stories, as well as those that were at the airbase in Doha that were defending the U.S. airbase there from attack from Iran. Some of the military members there as young as 21, he said. But there was a lot of talk about what's been going on, the reports in the press, that Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth was really kind of lashing out at some of the media outlets here for their reporting. But it seems for us in the room here, we just wanted to ask the question of the transparency of understanding how these strikes were carried out and what exactly was destroyed in these strikes. They did walk us through some of that, and the Secretary of Defense did say that they would, I tried to ask him if they would commit to sharing the Defense Intelligence Agency report assessment when it is ready, because they are saying this is just preliminary and in the early days. So when they get that information, can they share it with the American public? And they did, in a way, commit to some of that as they can as it comes out, but just kind of balancing what's classified and what can be declassified.
And, you know, a big
I believe we have
that...
a soundbite we could play, too.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Are we playing a soundbite, guys?
To share the Defense Intelligence Agency report when it is ready, so the American people can understand more about the intelligence assessment.
Well, actually, the report that was discussed, this preliminary report, was what's called a restrike report. So it comes to us to give us an assessment whether a target would need to be restruck, right? That's the reason why. So it's based on internal feedback loop that we're supposed to have access to. Unfortunately, someone took advantage of that. But whatever is supposed to be made public will be, but whatever has to stay sensitive.
Sir, can I just jump in? You know, one of the things that I'm trying to do.
The bombs went in at the correct angle. They struck the exact aim points they were. All right, and Markie, I want to get to your question too. The service is getting a little rocky in here, but I want to toss it back to you. But it was a very fascinating briefing being inside this room as more questions came out from the press here.
And Kellie, if you can still hear me, just about 1 minute left in show before we pass it on to the next hour here. You know, the Senate is poised now to get that full briefing today. If you're lawmakers in that room, especially those who are not happy with being kept in the dark on the weekend decisions, what questions do you still have today, and what holes are you still wanting to fill if you're members of Congress this afternoon?
Yeah, I think for a lot of them, they wanted to have more than just a heads up on this. Many of them wanted to make sure that they authorize the War Powers Act as well. But then I think for some of them, they want to make sure, one, that the highly enriched uranium wasn't moved from the facility before the attack, which was a question in here today. And they want to make sure that these attacks were successful, that they won't have the ability to build a nuclear weapon in the future.
All right, Kellie Meyer live in that Pentagon briefing room. Thank you so much. We'll see what new we get today.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.